Okay, YouTubers, I'm going to talk about some of the advanced electrical technology I'm playing with. I started with DC 3 years ago and thought I was doing pretty good to get two controllers working. I could turn off and turn on the different tracks and had a bunch of switches lined up, and I thought that worked pretty good. And then I started looking on the internet and YouTube about DCC. What is DCC? And so ended up getting a Prodigy Advanced DCC system. I got a little Wi-Fi device with it at the same time, and converted my DC layout to have the option of both DC and DCC, so I could switch a toggle and change the controllers and not have to, swap the locomotives out. And then I had learned how to use this Y-throttle software on your Apple device. That's my iPad sitting there, just kind of a little illustration. And then I started reading about JMRI on some of the advanced HO guys scales. So I thought, over a year about this. I thought, well, yeah, I could probably start playing with that. The thing that held me back was the Sprog, and it was $130. So I thought about it for about a year and then decided, I need some more to do. This is a Sprog. It's a DCC USB interface over to the JMRI software running on your laptop. You can use a Windows or a Mac, I guess. You can't use an iPad. And so these two connectors over here on the left go into your track, and that's about it. It comes with some software. Got a power cord, of course. Comes with software, and you have to run Java on your computer. And I put the software on. It kind of loaded itself, and then I updated the JMRI off their website to the latest version. And then the other thing I had thought is I need some some tortoise type switches, and I didn't understand how to do a tortoise switch and how to control it. Then I ran across these things called SMAILs, and slow motion activated with integrated logic. So the DCC receiver, if that's the right term, is integrated right in the SMAIL. I got two different kinds. I got this one that has where you can just screw the wires in, and you can also set up those 3 buttons on the back for a push button if you don't want to use DCC technology to talk to your switch controller. Then I got one that doesn't have that on the end. You have to solder it. Well, I'm not real good at soldering, and I thought, well, I'll pay the extra $10 or so to get the wire connector thing. Now I have 41 switches right now on my 2 different 8.5 by 11 layout, 8.5 by 4. I'm sorry, 8 by 4. I'm thinking about a piece of paper. And so I'm not going to buy a lot of these at $30 and $40 a piece. That's just too much investment for me. So those are the components that I'm going to be demonstrating in the next future videos, which I hope to put out this week, showing my progress on JMRI and these switches. You probably can't see that real well, but that's the main panel on JMRI. This is the roster panel where you define your locomotives. And all you have to do is put your locomotive on the track and tell JMRI to identify it. It'll go through and figure out what it is. It'll load all the different CV settings and whatnot. Then you can also define your layout on here and define your switches, and you just press the circles which represent, well, that's not quite true. This represents a JMRI object, and you can press that and it'll turn the switch, and I'll demonstrate that in the future once I get it hooked up. And then the other thing is, here's your throttle, so you can control the throttle on your locomotive that you're connected to, and you can switch back and forth between multiple computers or locomotives. And over here on your iPad or your iPhone, you can run your computers. Run your locomotives at this basically the same time as you're using your Windows computer. So, you get your Windows computer up and running, and then the iPad working through the talks to the Wi-Fi system, where your computer is connected to the same Wi-Fi system, not your outside internet. And then JMRI, once you start the Wi-Fi server over here, then the Apple device will read your roster and your switches, and then you can throw switches and run your trains from either your iPad or your iPhone. So that's a brief introduction of what I'm going to be doing in these videos here in the upcoming few weeks. I do have a JMRI playlist on the website that has this instructions on how to use the SMAIL. It's an excellent video about how to use that out there, and there's several excellent videos on using JMRI. And so I kind of know how to set up the layout with the switches. I don't understand how to do routes or anything like that. I'll probably never get into sensing where the train is and things like that. That's probably way beyond my interest level at this time. So anyway, a little bit long here, but this is the technology I have that I'll be using, and we'll see how that's going to work out. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the future.